absolutely wringing wet. Hey up troops, A Littleton here with another video, and this time we're looking at Ace. Ace is an extremely versatile operator who's not just limited to hard breaching. He's got a quality gun for a start, but he can also do a lot of things on his own where he can get rid of utility and also get denial from below or open hatches despite them being electrified. So in this video, we'll start off with some general tips and tricks for quality of life when you're playing Ace. One of them is particularly important. Then we'll get into various different maps where you can get denial from below. You can open things that are electrified even if you've got no help from teammates. It's just going to make you a better Ace player and especially help you in solo queue as well. I think that's enough waffling. We've all had enough. Let's just get stuck into it. So the first thing we'll talk about with Ace is not so much really a trick, just a piece of advice really. You see Ace players doing this all the time, right? And they'll throw another one at the same place on the other side here. And what you'll end up with is two vaultable holes, right? Which is not what you want. You don't want to be going through a breach like this. You can see what happens to the crosshair when you're going through the breach. It's not easy to shoot when you're going through a breach. Your crosshair is going up and down. It's a nightmare to try and fight from. However, there's a bit of a reference point that you can use when you're playing Ace and looking at the reinforcements from the other side. If you can see, in the panels, the reinforcement panels, you've got these middle sort of bolts, if you want to call them bolts. And what you want to do is you want to throw one Ace charge on the second bolt and one Ace charge on the bottom bolt. So you can see there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to throw it on the second one and on the fourth one. And look at the hole it makes. It is much, much easier to enter a building and to fight by having this hole using 2 selmas rather than having 2 of these holes. So instead of having one of these here and one of these here, much easier to have this. So use the second and fourth of the bolts when they're when you're looking at like the reinforcement from the outside. It just makes life a lot easier. Another breaching tip when playing Ace is you can open the whole of the wall with 2 selmas. I actually prefer doing what I just showed you, but I just want to show you that this is possible. Throw one Ace selma at the top in the middle, one Ace selma at the bottom in the middle, and you'll see what happens. And for those of you that were around, you can let that one go off if you want to, but for those of you that were around during the Habana trick times, which is still a thing by the way, you can see now that this wall is completely soft. So what you would do is either have breaching charges yourself. You can put a breaching charge there and open the wall. Obviously you're going to get your ankles shot out though, so it's not the most sensible idea. There's Mute's ankles. The other thing you can do, and which is the far safer option, is to have sledge or buck. If you sledge or buck this whilst it's reinforced, it'll get rid of all the wood on the outside. So if you buck this wall, all the wood will be gone and it'll just be exposing the reinforcements. And then when you do this, just the wall's open. People say, oh, it's such a great trick with Ace. I mean, yeah, it's cool and stuff, but why, if you're going to do that, just play Thermite. Like, why are you so scared of playing Thermite? Just do that. Why? If you're gagging for a massive hole in a wall, Thermite is literally designed for it. Yes, you get the AK-12, and yes, you get Claymore, so you can Claymore the garage, I guess, but I don't know, if you're that set on making a massive hole in a wall, just play Thermite, man. But it's possible with Ace anyway. Another really useful tip with Ace, and I very rarely see anyone do this, and I really wish people would do it more. So we've got the wall open, and we go, right, okay, next problem, we've got a shield in front of us. Why didn't that ping the shield? We've got a shield in front of us. I have to shoot the radio, obviously. We've got a shield in front of us. Now, the beauty of this is, yes, we can throw the Selma at the shield and destroy the shield, which we'll probably talk about a little bit later because there's a couple of places we can do that. However, a neat little trick, which means you don't have to peek the breach, it means you don't have to risk getting this ADS'd or WAMI'd on the way in, is we can go below and destroy that shield because the floor's soft underneath. So all you've got to do is throw a Selma at where the shield is, and if you're struggling with knowing where things are, just ping it. You go underneath, you can see where the shield is, throw a Selma at the floor underneath, and we'll watch this on the drone. It's going to destroy the shield from below. Now, bear in mind, there's a ton of places on different maps where that's the case. You can't do it if the floor is solid, obviously, but there's a load of places. I mean, even just here, you have your shield here. Quite often, you'll see people in cash putting a shield here. You can play behind this way here. So not only can you nade it from below, obviously, but if you play an Ace, you can get rid of that shield from below as well. Something that's really useful and worth knowing. So whilst we're talking about shields, then we might as well make the point that Ace can indeed just destroy shield by throwing a Selma directly at it. This example here is a classic. There's a load of other maps where Ace is useful at this. There's one on Chalet when you're destroying the shield on Piano. There's one on Outback when you're destroying the shield top yellow stairs. But all you've got to do is just practice the trajectory a little bit. You'd have to throw, like, the Selma... That's a really good example, Andy. The Selma arcs, it isn't directly straight, so if you want to hit that shield there, you're going to have to come down here and throw it a little bit higher. It just takes a little bit of practice, but you'll soon figure it out. But just got to make sure there's no ADS and my magnets in here, but it's just a really useful way of being able to destroy it. Again, an Ash or a Zafir is a much better choice here, but you can do it with Ace. He does so much. Pop it down, aim it a bit higher than you think you need to, and it lands bang in the middle of the shield. That'll destroy that shield. Take pixel control, and in we go. Then go from here. Open freezer. Thanks very much. Come around here. Destroy the guy cocktail, and then plant on trash. Lovely. Job done. But yeah, my point is, sorry, just ignore that last bit. Then I've gone off on a tangent there. My point is, yeah, Ace can indeed destroy shields by literally just throwing a Selma at them. Thank you, Warden, mate. Appreciate it. Someone commented, by the way, on my Thermite video saying they watch when I'd kill the guy that helps me, and one day they're going to kill me, so maybe that's today. I'm Warden! Right then, let's talk about hatches. This one is absolutely huge, and I'm surprised more people don't know about this, but if you ever come in to see an electrified hatch like this and you think, oh, it's electrified, we can't do anything about that, well, actually with Ace you can. What you need to do is throw the Selmas to the side of the hatch so the legs of the Selma, the bits that explode, extend over the hatch. The only part of the Selma that can be destroyed is this, like the actual bit you see in my hand there on the right-hand side. If that hits the electrified hatch, it'll be destroyed. If you throw the Selmas just a couple of, like a feet, maybe 1 foot away or a couple of inches away, don't throw it right next to it because it will get destroyed, but throw it about there, and the same here, and you'll see that the legs extend onto the hatch. As long as those legs extend onto the hatch, it will destroy the electrified hatch. Remember, don't throw your Selma like right next to it like this, because it will get destroyed by the electrification. It just needs to be sort of here, like a sort of, I don't know, what's that, a foot away in game? I don't know. But you just don't have to worry about electrified hatches anymore, as long as the floor's soft. Obviously, if this floor's hard, you're not going to be able to do anything about it. But of course, as always, if the floor's soft, it also means there can be defenders below waiting with a C4. So what you've got to do really is stand somewhere and practice the throw. Even standing here is not safe, because if a C4 lands here, you're dead. The best thing to do if you're going to do it is run in and jump up and get some vertical. So if the C4 does go off underneath you, it isn't going to kill you. You'll probably still take some damage depending where it blows up, but it isn't going to kill you. Just try and stand on there. You can even stand on here if you want to. The only problem with standing on here is by the time the hatch is open, if you're stuck in this position and the hatch is open, it's not really where you want to be. But yeah, you can get them open. Just make sure you don't throw them directly on the hatch, just to the side, so the two legs extend over it. Job done. So on to my probably favourite thing to do with Ace, and if you ever watch my streams, you'll see me do this all the time. But how many times have you been in this situation, right? Let's just start at the bottom of the ladder. On the way up the ladder, you're going, oh, I'm really glad I've played Ace this round. No one else played Hard Breach, so I'm going to really be able to open this wall here and help the team plant and give us more of a chance of winning the round. Oh, the wall's electrified. Okay, that's not the end of the world. We must have EMPs or someone who can grenade from below, or maybe even an Ash to get rid of the bandit batteries from below. Oh, Ash has been spawn peaked and nobody else wants to help. Great. How many times have you been in that situation? For me, loads of times. Now, don't worry, because all you've got to ask yourself is the floor on the other side of this wall soft? And if the answer is yes, no problem. All you need to do is come below with Ace. Remember, as we found out with the shields, Ace charges work from below as well. All you need to know is where the wall is below. You see this line here, this wooden beam? That's the wall above, right? So this is the balcony. This is the wall here. You've even got this beam here, which shows you the other wall, so you know that this square here is where the wall is. So all you need to do is throw an Ace charge underneath. Now, the beauty of this, when you get good at it, is you can do it from the front door. You don't even need to take all the barricade down. You punch the top right corner, throw the Ace charge on the ceiling there, and you'll see the points pop up. Shockwire destroyed. Now, if we go back up the ladder, you'll see, and there's going to be another point to this, by the way. We're going to go back down. You'll see the electrification has indeed been removed. Now, what you want to do really, and just to bob back down here, is the half wall is here, yeah, like the other side of this wall. What we don't want to be opening this side of the wall. We want to make sure we open this side of the wall. So when you come downstairs and you're throwing your Selma, make sure you're throwing it close enough to this side of the wall. Like, don't throw your Selma here. Because even if you destroy the bandit battery that side, you don't really want to be opening that side of the wall. You want to be opening this side of the wall. So make sure you throw your selma on this side. Now, I know when I've just placed the bandit batteries down myself, and I know I placed both of them in the middle, so I knew that selma would get both. But if I was in a game, I would always place it here. Also, make sure you throw your selma if you can. Make sure you throw it so the legs extend sideways. Like, you don't want the legs going vertically because then you've got less chance of getting the bandit battery depending where it is. I hope that makes sense. So on the way back up, you'll now see that the bandit batteries are indeed off the wall and we can open the wall as we want to. What we can do is remember the tip that we first talked about using these, just to talk about this again, to reiterate this. You've got the 4 bolts in the middle. You've got one on the second one and one on the last one. And then from there, obviously you can do that from outside the window. And look at that. It's such... Oh, hello, bandit. It's such an easy tip to learn. I know we've talked about this already, and I repeat myself all the time, and I end up just waffling on. But that is such a good tip to learn. Just to make life easier for you getting through the breach. You don't have to, like, vault over anything. You don't have to crouch or anything. Just walk through the hole. Thank you, bandit. On to the next. So we're on to a few more examples now where Ace can get the denial from below, and this is a really unique example. I can't think of anywhere else in the game, and please do tell me if I'm wrong, where there's a soft wall above another soft wall so close to each other. It's insane how close they are, exactly the same size directly above each other. I can't think of anywhere off the top of my head. There might be somewhere. Please let me know if there is. However, what's interesting about this one is, yes, we can go below, and yes, we can do what we just did on Chalet, where we open with a Selma below to get rid of the bandit batteries. However, what you can also do here is, because this wall is soft so close to that wall, you can just throw a Selma this side of the wall, at the top, very top of the wall, obviously. And that's the bandit battery gone from this side. It's also got the one from that side as well. Also, then you make a nice little angle you can hold split and meeting from if you need to. But there's the bandit batteries there were in the middle of both walls. So I'm surprised he got this side, but there you go. He's got both. Now you can open the wall this side. I would probably still only make a crouch hole here, right? So if you want to make a crouch hole, you don't want to be making a vaultable hole here, and you don't really want to waste 2 Selmas. You just want to make a crouch hole. And just a random point of note here. Hey, bandits. A random point of note. You always want to open this side of the wall. You don't want to be opening this side of the wall, because at least from this side of the wall, you've got a bit of cover here. You can fire from behind the cover. Whereas if you open this side of the wall, you're just wide open to pit. There's no cover you can use at all. You always want to be opening the right-hand side of this wall as you look at it. But yeah, I can't think of anywhere else where you can do that, where you can ace a wall below that gets the Selmas off the wall above. I don't know, interesting. There's a couple more sites we'll run through where Ace is useful on his own, but I don't think they're as useful as that. Thanks, bandit. So we're back on Oregon again. I feel like I'm saying Oregon all the time. And what we're going to look at now is not throwing my drone on the roof there. Pretend that didn't happen. I meant to throw it over the top. We've come to closet. No, the closet wall is electrified. However, this is one of me. I do this all the time. Get in classroom. Don't actually, when you're doing this, you don't need to get in classroom to do this. You just need to open the window. What I'm going to get in to show you. What you want to be doing is using this fan and light as a reference point, and just about a foot to this side of the light. If you're on the window, just to the left of the lamp about there is the middle of that wall. So you want to be throwing your Selma about here. So easy enough to do from the window. Just when you're coming around here to do this, make sure you don't get peeked from this window. You get some rats just sort of standing up on the football table there, trying to peek down. So just be careful with that. So when you get to here, you want to be aiming for the back of the fan, just there. And if we jump on the drone quick enough, boom, both batteries are gone. Now, just another little tip in relation to this wall, which I have mentioned on previous videos, but I'll mention it again in case anyone hasn't seen it. When it comes to breaching this wall, there's a cool little angle you can make. So you want to make one Selma here just to actually get through the wall, and then throw your other Selma here, but destroy the drop down bit. So destroy that bit. So this is going to be your way into the site through here. I should have thrown that Selma a little bit lower. That's... Oh, hang on. We haven't shot the radio. This is actually poor from here. This is a good example of what not to do. You can see now I can't crawl through this. I can't... Oh, I can just about. I've just about got away with that. A millimeter or so I've got away with that. Like, there's only certain bits you can crouch over. But my point is, you don't want to be making it so you have to vault over that. You don't want that at all. You want to be able to just walk straight through that, crouch straight through that. So aim a little bit lower there. So the reason we've made this, right, is you can't see my head here, can you? We can't see Bandit's head. He can't see my head. However, we can use this to step up onto. And now we can see Bandit's head. And it's a really nice angle to hold into attic like this. So if I come back through here and go and stand in attic, and then I'm going to grab the other PC and just go and put Bandit in there quickly so we can see the perspective from the other side. If I now go and put Bandit here and stand up there, can you see that angle? Can you see Bandit's head? I know we can see Bandit's head because I've just told you look for Bandit's head. But it's literally just a head glitch angle. You can actually make it a little bit higher as well, so it comes up to about here. It's a little bit low, that. But it's a really nice angle to hold because when defenders have a rotator here. When defenders are here, this is what they're holding, right? They're holding the breach here. They think, oh, no one's at the breach. And then they come around here and they start to look at trophy. The last thing they're looking, and if they do see this, they're like, oh, I don't need to worry about that because no one can vault through there. I don't need, it's an angle I don't need to care about. But it's just a really nice way. And also, like I say, having that coat there means that your head sort of blends in with the background. Don't destroy that. You can destroy it because if I now go back over here, look how obvious Bandit's head is now. It's way more obvious. It's still pretty well hidden, but it's way more obvious there. Moving back around again. But yeah, just a really useful thing to do because you don't really need your Selmas elsewhere. The only other time you're going to need your Selma here is if there's a shield on this area here. And I'll show you where that is below as well, just because whilst we're on it, why don't we talk about it? That's where you want to be throwing your... This is the kids' door here. So you want to come down here and throw your Selma on the... I haven't got any more left, but throw it here. In security in the corner, and that'll get rid of the shield that people play on kids' door as well. So with Ace, we can get rid of the bandit batteries ourselves. We can open the wall. We can make a nice little angle. We can get rid of the shield that is quite often played here. There's loads of cool different things you can do with Ace, and people just see him as like, oh, he's a bit of a hard breacher with a good gun. There's a lot more to his arsenal than just that. So we're on to Skyscraper now, and this one is so easy. If you're playing Ace and you want to get the office wall open, you can come below here down to the walk-in closet. I have to call it bathroom still. I still call this bathroom even though this is closet. It's a bad call out for me. Come down here to this window, and this is hard wall here. This is, sorry, hard floor. This is actually the balcony above all this, but then the wall, the reinforced wall starts here. You can see the hatch. It's just down from the wall. Now, there's a decent reference point to use when you're outside. This line is pretty much the middle of the wall, give or take. So if you throw your Selma at that line, we'll just nip up quickly, see if we can watch it in time. Just got there in time. There was 2 bandit batteries on the wall, and both bandit batteries are now off the wall. So that's one really useful point. The next one on the Skyscraper is over by Geisha. And if we just hop in here quickly, you're going to have to go into kitchen to get this done. But you can still do it. Obviously, you've got to drone your kitchen to make sure it's clear. You can see above here on the Geisha wall, that's where the bandit battery is. Come into this area here. Yeah, how easy is this to notice, by the way? You can't get this wrong. You can see the little hop up. This is down into drum. This is Geisha. Throw it on that a bit there. If we watch it on the drone. Goodbye, bandit battery. 2 really useful places to do that on Skyscraper because I don't know why. I find Skyscraper a bit more difficult to attack as a solo queue player. And our teammates just don't seem to want to help for some bizarre reason. But yeah, now you can get the wall. We're in 2 really good spots. For the final point for Ace, I want to talk about something that I do see people do sometimes, but it's not talked about often enough. Ace is a great hard breacher, probably one of the most versatile hard breacher. Yeah, he doesn't make a bigger hole as Thermite, but he can do a little bit more. He's got more utility, get rid of shields and all the rest of it that we've talked about. But I think Ace could also be used as a flex operator as well if you've already got a Thermite or a Habana that's going to take care of the hard breaching. Now, what I want you to do is imagine, and I saw this on a Gregor video, so shout out Gregor. I want you to imagine there's an Aruni gate on this door. I can't... I put an Aruni gate there as well because I need the shield here. So I had to choose either the shield or the Aruni gate. We've picked the shield. But this would be a common setup, right? You'd have an Aruni gate on this double door, and you'd have a shield with somebody playing behind the shield just there. What is Thorn stood on? Hello? Bear with me a second. Thorn? Okay. Yeah, no worries. That's absolutely fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend there's an Aruni gate here, and we've got the shield we need to take care of here. This is how good Ace is at just burning utility in general, right? So first thing we're going to do is burn the Aruni gate, and I'm going to have to make a sound effect for that, and then we're going to get rid of the shield. And tell me another operator who could do this fast, right? Aruni gate, shield, gone. So now we've got the Aruni gate gone, and we've got the shield gone, and you can even open up like one of the walls here if you want to. You could use a a Selma to do something else somewhere else in the map. Thank you, Thorn. But even just as like a utility burn on a close pinch anchor area like this, he's really good as well. So he doesn't necessarily have to be a dedicated hard breacher. If he's the only hard breacher on the team, yes, he's going to have to go and open the walls. But if you've got someone who's a bit of a gunner in your stack, and you've got someone who's playing Thermite, take the ace and just burn utility, burn a Rooney gates, burn shields. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get rid of like Malusi Banshees that are on the floor there, because you need a soft wall to, a soft floor or a soft wall to, for it to activate. But it's definitely worth considering for setups like that there. It's quite versatile. So there we have it. There's Ace, arguably the best operator on attack at the minute because he can do so much. Yes, he doesn't quite have the fragging power of Iona, but he brings more than that. He brings something else. He has to be top 3 at the moment. If you've watched 10 seconds, 10 minutes, or if you've watched this video 10 times, thank you. You're the people that are keeping this channel afloat and watching it. It's nothing without you, the viewer. So thank you very much for watching it. But other than that, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers!